Have you told your friends that you see ghosts?
Oh, absolutely not.
Gina Rodriguez returns in Not Dead Yet.
I'm back, baby!
Who is up?
Oh, she's the obituary writer.
And Brad Garrett joins the brilliant ensemble cast.
Titan, Maverick, Titan of all Mavericks. These are all words used to describe me.
Not Dead Yet. Season premiere. Tonight, 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Horror Movie Night podcast. We are joined by Stephen Bay of Analog Jones as we are actually sitting at a table together, which is I don't think we've ever done this in the 6 years that we've podcasted. We tried, but
failed.
But we are in a hotel room, and we're going to talk about this week's movie, Wrong Turn 6 from 2014. As picked by somebody.
Why? Who can I blame for this event?
Yeah, I'll have to. My phone's on the other side of the room. While we're doing What Did We Watch This Week, I will figure out who is to blame for this. But this one's bad. I know that we talk about we reference terror tunes a lot as one of the worst things that we've ever discussed, and I'm not gonna be the biggest terror. I've attempted to defend that movie enough, but what I will say is that terror tunes did not make me feel as gross as this movie made me feel while watching it.
I mean, there was no incest in terror tunes.
There was way too much incest in this movie.
The whole conceit of the movie is incestuous. It's. Man, who picked this shit?
Yeah, I need to figure out who that is sooner rather than later, but I will say that...
Oh, okay, I have it.
Oh, who is it?
Jack in Chicago.
Jack in Chicago.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Jack. You're from my town and you picked this.
Read the email. Did I put the whole email in there?
Yeah.
I still like you.
All right.
So I'll make this short. Found you guys a couple months ago after listening to a different horror podcast, and wow, I credit iTunes for helping me find your treasure trove of awesome. Okay, there we go.
All right. Off to a good start, Jack.
I have been through your catalog 3 times in a few months. Holy shit. And that holy shit is me. And can't wait for more every week. Keep killing it, and I would like to hear your opinion on Wrong Turn 6. It's a terrible movie by all accounts, including my own, but a guy explodes from a fire hose and there are boobs. Again, I just want to mention, this is my interjection here. The guy gets anally raped by a fire hose. You didn't really explain this very well.
So here's...
And the boobs aren't good!
I thought they were okay, but...
Well, who has good boobs in this? One girl has a nice butt, I think, but...
I thought the girl that gets ripped in half was looking pretty good.
Yeah, until she gets ripped in half.
That was the first scene ever where I was like, wow, I kind of wish she... Because at first I was like, oh, they're going to rape her. And then they rip her in half, and I go, oh, I kind of wish they would have raped her.
That
is what Wrong Turn 6 does to your brain. You're like, oh.
The best part about the fire hose death is that,
It's so absurd.
Well, it happened in a Naked Gun movie. And we're doing it seriously.
20 years before this
We're doing it seriously in Wrong Turn 6. So, here's the thing. I looked at the Wikipedia page because I watched this morning, and midway through, I was just like, I'm going to read what Wikipedia says happens in this movie, so I'm at least prepared, because this is awful. And I was like, critical review. And I clicked in there, and the one review said, finally the Wrong Turn franchise gets back on its right footing. So
what?
Was that the director?
Apparently, and I think between all three of us, none of us have seen part 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, and I've
Yeah.
only ever seen one.
I've seen 1 and 2.
This is my first wrong turn and probably my last.
Yeah.
Oh, you made the right decision
Yeah,
by not
I mean-
getting soiled.
Wrong Turn 2 is decent enough because it's Joe Lynch, but that's about it. But yeah, I have.
There's
If this is
no
making
Eliza
up
Dushku.
for if this is making up for what the other sequels were, then I am definitely not adventuring into 3, 4, and 5.
I can't imagine anybody will be like, man, Wrong Turn 5 was garbage, but Wrong Turn 6 is pretty solid. Like, what does that say about Wrong Turn 5?
Yeah.
But I want to also mention that Jack in Chicago, you're right, there are more than one set of boobs in this film. The girl at the beginning,
Yeah, she was fine.
she was actually really fit. I have notes about this. Okay, wow, are we getting a nude scene in the first 2 minutes? This is like having dessert before dinner. So my notes basically go downhill from there because I'm like, no one wears a thong and sexy bra on an off-road bike ride. Like, suspension of disbelief fucking ruined. And then, like,
The deaths, the CGI arrow through the side of the head,
God.
the
Like-
barbed wire decapitation.
the barbed wire decapitation is so dumb because that's not how bodies work. But
No,
like, if we're gonna be talking about bad women's anatomy, like, the biggest thing that really grossed me out, like, yeah, I really didn't like the incest. Yeah, I didn't like the woman getting her leg ripped off. But really, the grossest part about this movie is the fact that they're gonna have sex in a hot spring because like bacteria grows, and they're like, why would you open your vagina up to that kind of
Yeah.
assault?
I have a note that says, I guarantee you Scott says something about bacteria in the vajayjay.
No way.
Yes.
You are, wow. I'm impressed. You know me too well.
So, my favorite part of this entire movie is right before the arrow to the face, and it's that one of the, like, incest mutant creatures comes running past the camera, and he's basically doing, like, a Curly from Three Stooges, like, woo, as he, like, runs by.
And that's not even the shittiest thing about them. Their facial prostheses,
Oh.
their Halloween mask faces are the worst thing about them, not the Three Stooges.
Oh my god, but when he ran by, I was just like, oh my god, why is he making that noise?
Jack, you fucked us so hard.
Jack, I'm going to tell you right up front, buddy. I've watched all 4 movies for Listener Submit It month, and you get, like, the Golden Douche Award, because this is easily the worst of the 4 that we have to watch this
This
month.
is the worst listener pick of all time. Like,
Terror Tunes and Drive Thru were listener picks.
okay, well, here's the thing
He's
about
made
both.
the top 5.
Yeah, well, he's made top 3. Actually,
Pretty impressive.
I would say that this is up there as bad as Terror Tunes, because Terror Tunes made me feel dirty in like a 90s new metal way.
Yeah.
And this just made me feel dirty in every possible way. Like, this is like getting groped by your priest while also seeing your parents have sex, while also sticking your hand in a dead skunk's asshole. Like, that is the grossest you could ever feel watching a movie. Like, the only other movie that I can, like, that comes to mind as unsettlingly bad, and I'm not trying to make this comparison by saying that they're even in the same fucking universe of, like, filmmaking, but the only movie that made me feel this gross that comes to mind readily is Seven.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, not Seven. 8mm.
Okay.
Ooh,
You know,
that
like,
is a
because
rough
Seven's
one.
a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
Seven makes you feel really dirty, like the
But you're, like,
razor
supposed
dildo.
to,
If
yeah.
you're supposed to. 8mm is just a grimy, disgusting film that doesn't really have any redeeming qualities to it, and that's the way Wrong Six feels like to me.
This is a movie that a main character fucks his long lost sister, and it's like
And likes
a
it.
it's a life changing thing for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this
He
is a love
drinks
story.
blood. Yeah, it is. It is a romance. Like, if you want to get your sister in the mood, you grab a copy of Wrong Turn 6, you pop this baby in, you feed her some blood, fermented blood, mind
Yeah.
you, and you guys get to fucking.
Can I talk about how dumb these incest cannibals are. So this is the 6th movie, and I'm assuming
They get dumber each time.
Yes, I'm assuming it keeps. And you said the Three Stooges. I kind of had that, and I go, this is like Three Stooges, but they also kill a woman in the middle of the hallway. You know, when they have this giant hotel that they're trying to make business from.
The
And I
horny
go,
granny.
So you got the horny granny, the dirty old. I got dirty old woman. That's a twist. And so then they kill the cop. And his big plan, Three Finger, is I know what I'm going to do with the cop car. I'm going to roll it 10 feet off the road. No one will find that.
Yeah.
And nobody's using like gloves or anything. Like, how is this?
Well,
How
like-
have they not been caught if they're so terrible at forensics?
Well, like I don't. So the premise of this movie is that Danny has never known his family, and he finds out that he could meet his family, like his distant relatives. So they go to this hotel to meet his family, and he brings way too many friends on this.
Brings 7 people with
Yeah.
him, and like 2 carloads of people.
Yeah.
And they get out of the one. Now, I might have been fast forwarding a little bit, just FYI. So the first car rolls up, and
Yeah, because originally I wrote down him and his 2 friends, and
Yeah.
then I'm like,
And then I
oh, there's
completely
another
forgot that
car
they're-
of people.
and that they know each other. Like that, it is not implied in the film. Like I don't. I guess that we shouldn't expect too much like real plot.
I guess this
from
was
Wrong-
answers that we would have gotten from Wrong Turn 5. If we
So, did you guys? What year is this movie supposed to take place?
I
Because
think
there's no cell
2014.
phones.
There's no cell phones.
And he had that crappy camera. He's like, look, it's little and mobile.
Oh
I can-"
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
so
what?
what year
Is this a prequel?
So we're like, that sound is the sound of us taking our.
I'm trying to
anger out
sell
on-
that this weekend.
Do you think anybody's gonna give you $2?
Have you seen the people that have walked around this
So
convention?
this is a 2014 movie.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is 4 years old. This is one of the newest movies we've ever discussed on this
is
show.
The worst. This is the worst movie from 2014, and I'm not even considering schlocky trauma shit. Like
Yeah.
this is like how in the fuck. So like the
Described on here.
they I love the fact that camera looks like okay. I was in college in like 2002 and got a camera that looked just like that, a digital camera
Yeah.
that looked just like that. So. Did they film this movie 12 years ago and it took 12 years? Because I would give it so much more credit if they, like, it was this passion project and they're like, God, I really want to get my movie made, and like they try and find somebody just take it. And nobody takes it for 12 years, and then they're like, oh wow, it's been 12 years, and there are now cell phones that you can get like reception pretty much anywhere in America, and you can take pictures with your phone. Maybe they're just like, God damn, I guess we can't really fix this in post. We should just get our movie out. And
No one will notice.
No one is.
There's no. What do you think's going to happen? 3 guys are going to sit in a hotel room and discuss it. Like,
What are the odds?
Nailed it.
So that's not the most egregious, like, technological problem I have with this film. The most egregious one is, why would you frame pictures of all the inbred babies?
Yeah.
Like, if
And
they're
just
all
hang around the
monstrous
hotel.
babies, like, who's coming to this fucking hotel?
So,
but that's why they need Danny's eye.
The DVD I have for this, all those pictures were blurred out.
Yeah,
All the missing posters
so was
were blurred
mine.
out. Why?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. When they were like, when like the sheriff was like, "Have you seen this woman?" It was like, it's not fucking Schindler's List where I need a red jacket. Like, it was like everything on the bulletin board was blurred out except for the old lady's one photo. And part of me is like, did they
Was it
just
like
like hang a
Bokeh?
photo? Like,
Is it like bokeh on just the
Yeah.
like
everything was blurred. Like if I had rubbed my hands on my glasses so that they were all smudged
I
out.
think that was done in post production.
I think that they literally just hung a thing on a bulletin
Oh
board,
my
and then we're like,
God.
I don't know if we can legally have these things that are
You
on this
think that was
bulletin.
a real bulletin board with real missing people?
No, but I think like they didn't build one. I think, I don't know, because you're right. The photos, I couldn't tell what the fuck was in the photos when they were looking at the photos because they were all
thought they was
blurred.
just a shitty like Vimeo. I watched this on Vimeo.
No,
Like,
what you were seeing was the quality of the DVD.
Wow.
What if
Wow.
this movie? What if they broke into a hotel to record it, and they're just like, check these pictures and they'll
It's
record
just
them?
guerrilla warfare in this hotel.
Guerrilla video cinematography rather. I don't think that that's like gonna make this movie better if I knew that they had like risked getting arrested, because there are no excuses for this film. Like the cinema, like they spent 45 days filming this movie. Like
$1.2 million budget.
Are you kidding?
And it was all spent on Three Fingers mask. All of it.
Like that mask, I swear to God, I could make a better mask out of paper mache, and I don't have that kind of skill, like, at all. So,
not to mention, these kids are the most annoying kids that I've seen in a movie in a really
and they're
long
supposed
time.
to be. I have notes.
Are they supposed to be endearing? Like
they're supposed to be cute, but also they act like they're high schoolers on spring break.
Yeah.
Like not even college students. They act and like.
Well, the one dude and his chick are going at it like rabbits at any fucking corner. Like,
all the time. And like, is she the one that brings the dildo?
I'm sure she is. I don't remember.
Like, who brings the
I was also
vibrator
working
with their
from home while
boyfriend?
watching this.
I was working from home while I was watching it too, because like I wasn't about to spend all of my energy on watching it. But like, there are so many confusing parts about this movie. Like, a 12-year-old wrote this screenplay because one guy is like, let's get naked, and then he jumps into the pool fully clothed.
Yeah.
Like, why? And then we get, like, no woman brings a vibrator on vacation, first of all. Second of all, why would you bring a fucking vibrator on vacation with your boyfriend who you want to bang all the time? Like, are you really that horny that, like, it's been 15 minutes, he's in his refractory stage, and you're like, God, I really need some dick right now. Like, Jesus
Maybe
Christ.
it's for him. Up his poop shoop.
Honestly,
that's where
that
fire
would make this
hoses
movie
go.
Oh, that's correct. It makes your tummy go boom.
Yeah. I mean, it makes my tummy go boom when I think about
I
it.
feel like this is one of those few movies where most of my notes is just anger. Like,
Yeah, and I hate Sally so much. It took me like a good 40 minutes to find out what her name really was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Sandy? What are they saying her name is?
Sandy, like the good girl?
No, Sally is the sister.
Yeah, the sister that he
spoiler
was.
alert, everybody that's listening. Sally is Danny's sister, and she's got the crazy eyes down pat. Like, and she must have smoked a pack of cigarettes a day, because she sounds like she's about to have lung cancer. It is awful. She's just awful. Like, also, I'm sure you can tell, but like, I am fighting a horrible cold. I'm like, snot everywhere.
Yeah, you're just dripping.
Fighting against my hatred for this film. But like, God damn.
He's like, I could be sleeping, but the world needs to know to not watch Wrong Turn 6.
Yeah, like this 30 minutes is 15 minutes longer than you should be spending thinking about this film.
I have so little. We've covered most of it. There is one quote that I wanted to write down in this movie, which is right before the you think you're gonna get raped, and then it's just a really gross sex/death scene that's really uncalled for.
Oh,
past,
this is one way to get kinky.
The line is they walk past the statue and he just goes, "They're screwing."
Jesus Christ! Like a 12-year-old boy wrote this script. Like, this is worse than when we watched The Wraith.
Yeah,
The Wraith was a 12-year-old boy script. This doesn't have any excuses. $1.2 million?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
No
willing.
bullshit.
What
What
did they spend that on?
I've got an idea. I think I figured this out.
Craft service.
I think
Apparently.
that there was a kid, maybe 12, 13 years
Oh my
old.
God! Was this a Make-A-Wish movie?
No. I think that a 12 or 13-year-old in 2004 saw the first Wrong Turn and wrote a screenplay for a sequel and spent 10 years of his life waiting to make it and was like, I don't even need to do a rewrite. Was perfect the first draft.
So that kid's name would be Frank Woodward, the writer.
I mean, you got your phone out. What else has Frank blessed us with? Anything else?
He just does short documentaries. Like, one of them is called Blood on the Pines. I don't like. And also in his IMDb, for like one of the first things that you notice, he's like, he worked on Reservoir Dogs, and I go, that's interesting. And then I looked at what he did, electrician.
So he couldn't have been 12 when the first Wrong Turn movie
was he one of those
he's
fucking
like
hero
40 something.
Yeah, he's a hero electrician that was in Carnosaur 2.
Yeah.
He made it out. He was like touching the kid's thigh. He was like, "It's okay, kid." And then he writes the screenplay for Wrong Turn 6, like immediately following Carnosaur 2, and he's like, I'm gonna get this movie made, and then he does Reservoir Dogs, and he's like, "This is my big payday because like
This is where all the budget's going to come
Steve
from.
Buscemi is gonna be in Wrong Turn 6. We don't even have to put a mask on him."
Yeah. He got paid $1.2 million to do the electrician work for his Reservoir Dogs.
and he had no backers for this movie. Like he just like, fuck it.
I think that I think there's going to be Wrong Turn 7. I think that this franchise, for
Why?
whatever reason, just prints money for people.
But the thing is, yeah,
Because you can make it for
we were
1.2. You know how many people need to buy this movie for them to make that 1.2 back? Not that many. Like,
Well, did you buy it, or is this one
I bought
you just
it.
found
This-
on the street?
this was like $6.
You're part of the problem.
Yeah, $6 for that. I'll tell you how much that cost just to make that. That was a $1.25.
Oh,
maybe.
I'm aware. My other option to buy this was to do the Wrong Turn movie pack of 1 through 6. That was $45 used on Amazon.
Why?
There is a fan base for this franchise, and I don't get it. But I also don't get the Saw franchise fan base or the
can at
Hostel
least-
fan base.
I can get the Saw franchise because it's like very elaborate set pieces. It's
Yeah.
like Grand Guignol. Like
Yeah.
it's basically like set them up, knock them down. All these people are terrible. They're all gonna die. You get a little bit of crime noir in there, and you get a lot of really gratuitous, out there, ridiculous torture porn. Like,
Yeah.
I get the Saw movies. I don't like them, and I refuse to watch them, but I get them. This is just like... I don't even know why redneck backwoods horror is a subgenre. Because, like... Okay, we got I Spit on Your Grave. We get... I mean...
And the
we
70s
get
stuff is
Hills Have
almost
Eyes.
like that
what else
stuff's
do
all
you need?
Well, and that's the thing
Texas
that's weird.
Chainsaw Massacre.
It's all stuff that started in the 70s and was like its own unique, very special thing at that time that suddenly in like 2004 everyone decided they needed to remake those backwoods movies, and like they completely missed the point. Because like I feel like you watch The Hills Have Eyes, you watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and to a slightly lesser extent, you watch I Spit on Your Grave, because I wouldn't completely consider that backwoods.
Well,
and
I think my problem is that I haven't watched I Spit on Your Grave since like 1999.
Yeah.
I watched the remake when it came out.
But that's what I mean. They
And
upped the
remake
ante and made it
is
way worse.
Absolutely, the remake is one of the most excruciating films I've ever watched, and this is not like, this is like the cheap, really fucking like bare bones concept of that same genre.
But it's like that genre made sense in 1977. It does not have a place in 2014.
Well, I think Toby Hooper was. Oh no, I'm sorry. You're talking about I Spit on Your Grave, but like.
Well, no, Wes
like,
Craven,
we're saying
Toby
was, like-
Hooper, all
so
of them.
like,
Yeah.
so when they created that was their art. I mean, they were young and they had something to say. This isn't art at all. Wrong Turn 6 is just like, hey,
exploitation.
let's go grab Valerie Milva, who's done now 2 mutant
What's the
cannibal
other
movies,
movie?
2 zombie flicks, and now one that I found fascinating called Bulletproof, which is about super soldiers that are half pigs and half human. I see
that
you
sounds
guys.
like an Analog Jones episode for sure.
It is absurd. I watched
You've
the
seen it?
trailer. No,
Okay.
I watched. God no. Not yet. Not yet. I
Not
watched the
until you're like-
trailer to it. The trailer is more fascinating than this entire movie. Like I don't know if she was put through
Wait,
this.
so which character are we talking about? Are we talking about crazy blonde Sally?
Oh,
or
no,
are we
no.
talking about the hot brunette at the beginning?
No, Valerie is the director's name.
Oh, the director.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You were saying Valerie, and I was thinking like, okay, which hot girl in this movie?
because
is
you
like,
don't think women can direct films. Got him.
Oh my-
Got him.
This was
got him.
No, I
directed
thought
by
you
a
were talking
woman?
about something you act
Wait. So an actual woman put, like, this is like fucking the most anti-feministic horror film I've ever seen in my
This
life.
is a woman, a female director?
I think because I couldn't find the picture. So
Wow.
its name was Valerie
What is that?
Miliv.
Directed
So-
by, but written by
By Mr. 12-year-old Frank
Yeah.
Woodward. Yeah.
what? I can't imagine any woman that would be so hard up that she would be like, we need some incest
Yeah.
exploitation.
Part of me wonders if this was a deal movie. So if you make this piece of junk and we make a little bit of money, we'll let you do your Super Soldier Pig movie.
Well, it could
okay.
be I think it's in one of the in that Shockwaves episode. They talk about the one with John Landis that you listen to. Is that where they talk about Roger Corman and like humanoids from the deep? In that, where he's like, they're like, is there anyone we shouldn't interview? And he's just like, the girl who did Humanoids from the Deep. You could probably avoid, like, because she had no intentions of that movie being like a fish rape movie, and it was just like, we need more fish rape in this flick.
Yeah.
Like, she could have made a really just decent like death in a hotel movie, and then afterwards they're like, yeah, no, it's great, we'll do the editing, and it's like, add some more real weird incest rape in there if you can.
Yeah, the writer came back and he was like, reshoots, let's just do reshoots.
So you guys highly recommend this film?
Yep, 2 thumbs up.
Jesus, two fire hoses up my asshole.
Yeah, no, I mean, is there anything else worth noting?
Yeah, I this is one of the things that, and I want to say this was, this might actually also be the John Landis episode of Shockwaves, where they talk, oh no, I'm sorry, it was when they were talking to the director and writer of Channel Zero, Butcher's Block, because they're talking about, which I have not watched yet, but they're talking about the fact that they have, like, smart cannibals, that they're, like, kind of worldly, instead of where everybody thinks about cannibals as being, like, rip somebody's arm off and eat it raw. That shit happens in this movie because, like, they
kill a deer and it's, like, unsettling.
Oh yeah, I hate
deer.
that deer death. I mean, obviously, you guys know I don't like the animal deaths in movies, but
then it just cuts to like a guy just chowing down on like the raw deer.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when right when they start to drug Danny.
Yeah.
When they do the big ritual, they take his buddy and string him up. And do they cut him in half, or do they draw and quarter him or something?
Something
but his
like
guts
that,
fall out, and then they're all like just descend upon the guts. And
well, because it's like
there's
borderline
no
a cannibal
value.
movie.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the nutritional value of like intestines? You're eating someone's shit. Like literally, like they're not cleaning it. There's no like sanitation. Like, how are these weird like hillbilly monsters able to stomach this? Whatever. But then Sally does this weird, super uncomfortable sex dance. It's like this seduction dance, and Danny's all about it. And they like have this weird slow-mo fucking while all the hick family members are standing around him, and it is like, absolutely, it's like the sex scene, it's like the love scene,
we're supposed to be super happy that this happened. Like,
yeah, like you're supposed to empathize with Danny that he finally gets to complete his life's goal of like being one with his family.
Yeah.
But like, you know how in movies in the 80s...
Side note, it's really funny hearing you say that while you have a cold because your eyes are teary, and it felt like you were like genuinely moved.
I'm so moved by this film, by this scene. It's like so sensuous, and if you like pulled into this movie at that scene and you
with no other context,
and you were able to cut it so you don't see the deformed monsters behind them dancing around this fire where there's a dead body, and
there'd be like a sax solo and like just the most sensual like 80s love scene.
Every crime noir movie from the late 80s where the guy's like smoking a cigarette and he's like, it's another case, another day. And then he like bangs the chick that he's supposed to be finding out about her dead husband, but it's actually he's fucking his sister in front of all their cannibal brothers and sisters.
You know, typical normal movie trope.
Yeah.
I was really happy when he started to bang his sister because I'm like, oh, movie's over. Done. And I checked the time on this.
The thing
I
is that
think
there was
25
more,
times.
Yeah.
There was more incest after the incest scene.
Yeah.
He's banging his sister real sensuously.
When she's like deformed and like
I was
unable
talking
to
about
walk.
the very end where she gets on the straps.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Like it just made me so uncomfortable. Like,
and they CGI'd her leg out. Like that's where some of that 1.2 million went. They like for the listener, so you don't have to watch the movie. She gets acid or bleach,
boiling water. It was just boiling water
on her face, and then somebody shoots her arm and leg off, or something. So she somehow is like only one.
It's
leg
Danny's
and one arm.
ex-girlfriend,
and he's like, "You're trying to kill my family," and he shoots her in the fucking face. And then at the end, like Sally's all healed up, and he like picks her up and he lovingly sets her on the Which is more like a birthing table than a fucking.
That's what I thought it was when she's
I
like,
thought
"This
it was
is a
too.
birthing table."
I'm like, how do
there's-
you not know what those straps are? Like, what? Have you never been to the gyno? I've never been to the gyno. I know what those straps.
I've been
are
to
for.
the gym where it has that one machine that looks like it's from the
Yeah,
gyno.
Matt,
Guys,
I
it's
know
efficient.
Yeah,
She can get on there, get
get
pregnant, and then
get
boom,
the
pop out the baby.
Yeah. Like, is it?
Oh,
is this
these
like
babies
species?
100% look like the babies from fucking It's Alive 3 Island of the Alive. Like, that's what this movie
Yeah.
is.
You know how it's like super horrifying in Species 2 when the guy comes back and he's now an alien, he doesn't know it, but he like is getting a medal, and then he bangs two chicks in the bathroom at the awards ceremony, and one chick becomes like super pregnant within like a 30-second span. That really fucked me up. This is like that same thing where she like gets this inbred baby, and so she's just laying there. It's not like she's not getting up. She doesn't have any legs. She has one leg, and so she's like, it's just like fucked baby. Try again, because like that's the like he's like romantically like touching her deformed burnt face, and she's like crying. She's so happy, and he's like, well, just keep trying.
Yeah.
And even after that, they still put a boob scene in there. I was just like, wow, okay, you're just going to end with that. I'm
Which
like,
is
"Oh,
why I
whatever."
really do think that all of the sex scenes and then says were like someone else after Valerie finished this movie.
But the thing is that like
She really wanted to get that Pig Mutant Soldier
I feel
movie.
so bad for the women in this film. Like, I feel bad for the women in Humanoids from the Deep.
Yeah.
Sure. But, like, Humanoids from the Deep is Corman crap. Like, it's
I hate when people say this.
It's not mean-spirited.
I hate to say this because I've heard so many people say this all of the time, but like the whole like it was a different era thing as well is like 2014. You should fucking know better.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. And also, like, it's not. This movie is shocking without being like. It's not shocking. I'm sorry. It's not shocking. It's grotesque without being shocking. You know, like I don't need to see incest. Like, you know, fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre was shocking because even when I saw it for the first time in, let's say, 1996, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the first time I saw it, it was shocking because of it being a good movie.
Yeah.
But also, like...
and it just felt so real.
Yeah, like you can do shocking in 2014, and you can talk about these concepts if you want to have an incest movie. I don't know. But, like, this movie is so plain.
Yeah.
You know, like, everything is just... Here it is.
I watched 5 movies for this weekend, and it is the movie that I have the least amount of notes for. And it's not just because I was infuriated while watching it, but it just was like, I have nothing to... Like, one of my notes just says, this movie's just happening. Like, there's no words that it's just I'm watching it. It's watching a train wreck. Like, it's just like, all right, well...
I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is the Citizen Kane of horror movies. I mean, this is like so forgettable, but now that I'm talking to you guys about it, I feel like I'm having a reverse effect where I'm like,
Do you want this for $2?
hell no. Hell no. I've got more VHSs to buy.
Yeah. You should... Everybody, you should see the pile. Because I brought him, like, 9 VHSs
And
in
he's
the car.
doubled that in the
And he
in the
bought a
convention.
bunch. I bought a couple, and like it's just I'm gonna have to box them all up and ship them media mail to him like after this weekend because there's no way he's gonna be able to get those into his carry on for his trip back.
Should we move on to like the what we
Well,
watched?
I mean,
Yes,
I just
I
would
don't
like
even-
to say,
oh, he's got more
Jack, thanks for listening.
for the last time.
No, he loves
kidding.
the abuse. He wouldn't have told us to pick
Yeah,
this.
there's no. This is absolutely they're gonna hate this. Like this was not like.
Yeah, we should have known better. I voted for this. Like,
Yeah.
you and I both voted for this. It was a 2 out of 2.
Oh, is that how
Yeah.
you guys do it?
That was how we did it
Receive
for
them
this.
and then you vote.
That's how we did
Yeah.
it for this month. Was yes,
Yeah.
we like so. Actually, we only have ourselves to blame for.
Yeah,
for
this
all
one's
4
on us.
movies. I mean, this one is the most egregious, but like, yeah, and I understand that Terror Tunes,
It worked out for 3 of the 4.
yeah, it actually did. But like, Terror Tunes did have you championing it and Drive Through you championing it. So
Yeah.
like, I do blame you for those. That's why I always forget.
And I always
were-
say, and listen to the episode.
Yeah, because I was on just a hate bender. Like I was so upset. I can't listen to those episodes anymore because I'm just so I hate myself
But that is where we found the 420 boys. That was a big. That was a big.
Those
like,
those fags? Is that right? Is that the line from that movie? Yeah. For anybody that doesn't want to listen to our episode of 420 Boys, that's like those two lines right there are drive-through. Fuck that movie. Anyway,
so what did you guys watch this week?
I guess I'll start. So when I saw that Lynch directed the second one of this,
Yeah.
I went to Shudder after spending like 10 minutes trying to
all
find
of them on
something.
Shudder?
No.
Okay, good.
So I spent 10 minutes on Netflix searching for something, and I'm bored. I'm gonna go to Shudder. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mayhem, and I watched Mayhem, and it's really good.
Yeah.
It's
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm told it's great.
It's
Did
title,
I talk about it?
You talked about it already, yeah.
Its title perfectly represents what you're getting. It's like anti-corporate mayhem.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not a zombie flick. I want everyone to know that.
No, it's not. Thank goodness, or else I would not have said nice things about it either.
And it was fun. I have a UK magazine called Scream that comes out bi-monthly, and I read, he talked about it. So all his movies, I would figure this guy would have like a contract with someone. He still works a day job.
Yeah, no, he
What
said
the
that.
fuck?
Wait, did you hear that on the Geekscape podcast? Yeah, he wrote this because this was his day job in between movies, and he wrote a film while working like an
Because I
office
listened
job.
to that episode, and that,
Yeah.
I must have totally missed that.
Yeah,
that line.
because that was the thing that John has brought up a bunch. Because he's like, this is the sad reality. Like, streaming has done a lot of good things, but it has ruined the ability for a dude to be a full-time director. Like, unless they are
Wow.
Steven Spielberg or like someone who's like doing stuff with Marvel, 99% of the directors out there, it's like you make a movie and you go back to a day job and write a script and hope that you
Somebody
can
will
sell
pick
that,
that
one,
one.
yeah, and then leave your day job again and then find a new day job.
So
Like,
what else has Joe Lynch done recently?
I mean, he had some rough patches because like
He had the Selma Hayek, the name is escaping me because it's been up since forever, but where she is hunted down in a hotel room. It's pretty good. I really wish I could remember the name.
But he did like we've been over this a couple times.
Yeah,
he did like
we have.
Chillerama.
Yeah,
He did like Nights of
Chillerama, yeah.
Badassdom and stuff like that.
Nights of Badass. That's the one I was.
But that's
like,
the one that he disowned that one. He was
really?
he did not. He said that the script that he had worked so hard on
Did
and
he
the
direct
movie
it as well?
he directed as well. He said the movie that they he talks about on the Geekscape episode. I think he says like
Maybe I didn't finish that episode
Yeah.
because I feel like I have such big gaps in my knowledge.
he said like there is a great movie in Nights of Badassdom that
I would
was
agree.
completely cut and edited down to a movie that is not something that I'm proud of.
The concept is fantastic.
Yeah, he said it was like a
And
gory R-rated film, and they were like, "No, we're making a PG-13 movie, whether you
Oh,
like
okay.
like it or not." And he's like,
Yeah.
"That's not what I wrote."
And like they had such a great like.
There's a good cast, yeah.
You know, and I thought that it was very tongue in cheek, which makes sense when you know it's Joe Lynch. But
Yeah.
it's like really hard to stomach that. But man, when you think about like the way that Knights of Badassdom looked
Yeah,
versus the way that Mayhem looks, Mayhem is a beautiful film. Like it is. I watched it on Shudder as well. Like, and I watched it on a TV. I would I would just love to watch it on like a big screen because I feel like the colors would pop better and like because it's very contrasty. Like I don't know if that's the way that they did the post production or if it's the actual way that it was like the way that the sets were built, but it's very like drab and it's very that's why the blood pops so much and it's got the chick from The Babysitter. And she is just
who's
great.
also in 3 Billboards. I forgot that she's in 3 Billboards over Ebbing, Missouri, as the ex-husband's 19-year-old girlfriend.
yeah, but she's brunette.
yeah, she's the best part of that movie.
Yeah, because she plays. Well,
Like-
I don't think she's the best part, but I would say the other actors who tore up in that. But
Yeah.
anyway,
she's so funny in that movie.
I think she's great. I'd probably watch anything with her in it.
My favorite thing about people talking about the movie Mayhem, though, is that every time I hear the word Mayhem,
You think about whatever it takes.
Mayhem, baby.
That's Ben Foster.
That's not Ben
No,
Foster.
no,
That's
it's not.
Aaron Paul.
Thank you. Sorry. I always get those two guys confused
Because
in
get
my
over it.
brain. Because yes, exactly. Because they look the same. They looked
the same.
in the 90s. They both did D-level
Teen flicks that
Teen
deserve
flicks.
more credit because
Yes.
they're both great.
Yeah, like and Get Over It has Kirsten Dunst and Martin Short in it. Like,
And Cisco. Coach calls me crazy
That
legs.
doesn't mean shit. Like, yeah, and also like that movie gave me my favorite quote that I used in high school that no one got. Front butt.
Yeah, keep icing your front
butt. Yeah.
I always see Little Steven in movies randomly, and I'm like, Little Steven.
Yeah, actually, Get Over It is a great film, but like, Whatever It Takes is way better, and like that's got James fucking Franco in it, and Shane West, who we will be talking about very soon.
Shane West also in Get Over It.
That's right. That's right. That's why I always screw up Ben Foster and Aaron Paul. But like Aaron Paul, science, bitch, mayhem, bitch.
These movies are slowly coming back to me because I haven't watched them in a long time.
Dude, Get Over It's a blast. I mean, Whatever It Takes is, I agree, the better of the two, but
honestly,
they are both fun
I've
as
gotten
shit.
way more mileage out of Whatever It Takes.
Yeah.
Just because I like the story better. Get Over It, I find the characters to be a little annoying.
So my thing with Get Over It, I think it's the reason why I've always liked it, Martin Short is 110% playing my high school drama teacher. Like, it is so spot on, his mannerisms, and like being on the drama club and stage crew, I'm like, yeah, no, this was like, it is like Can't Hardly Wait level snapshot of my high school experience so perfectly. So this week I watched a movie that my brother had brought up maybe like a month ago on Netflix, A Stupid and Futile Gesture.
About National Lampoons.
About National Lampoons, and that is, I've watched it twice so far.
What do you think about John Landis's take on it?
I can get what he means, because they do, like, I don't know who Doug Kenny is outside of this movie.
Of course, yeah, most people don't.
But they do play him as more of, like, this endearing buffoon who just happened to, like, land success.
He fell upwards.
Yeah,
more or less,
basically.
Yeah.
And I think that he probably was a brilliant comedic mind. I also feel like the movie tries a little too hard to definitively say, spoiler alert, that Doug Kinney killed himself. Whereas, like, if you look into like the Shockwaves episode, and there's a lot of stuff on like his Wikipedia page.
You need to Wikipedia. It's inconclusive. Like,
it's very inconclusive.
The police have not ruled it as they didn't rule it as a suicide, did they?
But I do like the Harold Ramis quote, which is that I think he fell looking for a place to jump, which is like such a shitty thing to say about your friend, but like.
But it also the thing is,
but it's endearing to their sense of humor.
It does, and it also basically says it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
you know, like I think that's where Harold Ramis leaves it. Is like it doesn't matter what his intention was; he's gone anyway.
Yeah, and it's funny, it's touching, and it's for me, it was a very difficult movie to watch because before I'd seen it, I had heard about it through Brian on the podcast, and he said, like, I have never connected to another comedic mind the way that I feel like I connect with this character. So I had that in my mindset while watching it. And there's a scene that both times that I've watched it, someone's been like, yeah, that would be you and your brother if you ran a company. Is his best friend is this very like soft-spoken, intellectual, doesn't get into the partying nearly to the level that Doug Kenny does. And apparently National Lampoon was supposed to be bought out by their investor after 5 years. And the guy was trying to back out of the deal. So in the movie, Doug Kinney jumps up on the desk and he's like throwing stuff around. He's like, give us our fucking money. And his friend just stands there and like the investor's like, come on, you're the intelligent one. Can you talk some sense into him? And he just looks over and knocks a single plaque off the wall and just keeps staring. And everyone's like, that would be you in the situation. Like, you're so non-confrontational while Brian would be the hothead, like on a table screaming at somebody. But it is like, especially if you I grew up watching Caddyshack and Animal House. They are my dad's, like, two of my dad's favorite movies. They do such a good job of recreating scenes from those movies, like, perfectly. The guy who does Rodney Dangerfield's voice sounds so much like Rodney Dangerfield that it's, like, chilling. The people do not look like anybody, but they sound like they got people who did perfect vocal impressions of these characters. And it's just, I had no clue how much, a big element of it is how much Doug Kenny felt that Saturday Night Live completely stole everything from him. Because the writers on National Lampoons, right before SNL launched, were Chevy Chase, Jim Belushi, Gilda Radner, Bill Murray, and like three other people who became the main writers of the first season. He's like, basically, like, you find out that they were offered a TV slot and their investor was like, oh, they don't have time to do a TV show. And then like 6 months later, SNL happened, and they just took everybody from National Lampoons. And that was a big part of his depression. The reason why he did Animal House was basically to be like, well, fuck you, you take my guys and you make a TV show, I'll make a fucking movie. Like, so it's a very interesting story. It's worth watching.
I could not believe. I mean, we all know they did a lot of cocaine in the 70s.
Oh, the
and 80s.
level.
I could not believe the level of cocaine Brian Kenny and Chevy Chase did. Like, and if that's true,
Yeah.
how is Chevy Chase still alive?
He's one of those mutants,
Yeah.
like Ozzy Osbourne, where genetically he can get away with it. That's why he's still alive.
I do love the scene. You haven't seen it yet,
I have
right?
not seen it yet.
There's a
I don't
scene,
actually intend to watch
There's
it.
a scene in a party where a guy's trying to talk to Doug about his screenplay, and he's like, "Can you give me some notes?" He's like, "Do you want to see what $20,000 worth of cocaine looks like?" And he just like opens this cabinet, and the guy's like, "No, but seriously, I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of cocaine." And then like they walk away, and Chevy Chase walks over like a plate of food, stops, throws the food around, and just starts putting cocaine on his plate. Like, it's just like it's like Boogie Nights, like Scarface level of just dudes deep in white powder for like the second half of the movie.
Yeah, I thought there like someone was going to explode. There was so much coke.
But there was no fire hoses shoved in anyone's asses, so we were safe.
It's like Gary Busey level cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, it's just absurd.
How about you, Scott?
Well, I started and probably will not finish this series, and I wanted to mention it because it comes back to a conversation that you and I, Matt and Scott, had on Facebook Messenger a couple weeks ago when I was trying to work. Well, actually, just last week, I guess, when I was trying to work my way through it. I tried to watch Everything Sucks on Netflix, and I do not like it. I loved Freaks and Geeks, and the way that Matt prefaced it was, it's Freaks and Geeks in 1996. And I get that, but I don't feel it. Like, Freaks and Geeks is so much more heartwarming. I think I got 5 episodes, maybe the end of the 4th episode into... I got to episode 5 in Everything Sucks, and... I have no desire to continue because it's just far too cringy.
Yeah.
And I understand that's the point, but the same and the reason I want to mention for this episode is because you were talking about Get Over It and how Get Over It you love so much because it reminds you of your high school drama teacher, and you said when I said I did not like Everything Sucks, I was about an episode and a half in, I'm like, dude, this fucking sucks. Like, it's not for me. And you were like, well, it just perfectly encapsulates what being a freshman in high school felt like.
Yeah. Well, and I was in the TV studio throughout all of high school, which also was a big factor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's not something that people usually cover in any form
but the
of
thing
teen
is
flick.
that they have the drama club.
Yeah.
And like I did drama in high school, so there was definitely that like overlap.
Yeah.
That I should have gotten, but everybody was just so excruciating. Everybody is just impossible, and like no one was a real character except for the main boy. Like I felt like the main boy was like a real character that I liked. He was so cute, like just charming little boy, great actor. But that's not gonna save the show for me. Like I can't stand the fucking adults. They're all awful, and I understand that's kind of the point is that they're like kids too, and blah blah blah. But like I just don't have the bullshit tolerance for that.
I think that for me, I got more invested in the show when they started making their movie.
And you told me that, and I just can't get there.
Yeah.
Like I can't give a shit enough to go on anymore.
Because because I had messaged you to ask you about a quote. There was a quote in near the end,
right? Yeah. And
so
I'm sorry, you're not going to.
No, that's fine. So the quote that I think really like ties the show together, and this doesn't really spoil anything, but it's I think a very good, well written scene. Is the main little boy, his father is estranged from him, and he finds a crate of VHS tapes, and he decides to watch the tapes, and it's just a bunch of video diaries that his dad did, and he kind of watches in chronological order where his dad and mom's marriage crumbled and why his dad walked out on him. There's a scene where his dad says, he's like, I was watching Ghostbusters, and I've watched Ghostbusters hundreds of times, and it was the first time that I ever realized that this EPA guy that everyone hates is the only person who's doing his job. And he goes, and it made me realize that, like, at the end of the day, you can be the good guy in your life story and not realize that you are absolutely the villain in everybody else's. And like
that's a great scene, I'm sure.
And I was just like I remember watching that and being like, oh, like it's like such like a chilling like, oh fuck, like, and like I realized like, oh, that's what this show's trying to talk like. And I agree, it is never going to be as good as Freaks and Geeks. It's not even going to be as good as Undeclared. Undeclared is a super underrated show. But like I said, it was just like, oh wow, they're doing a show like for me. Like it was
and like I love the cultural references. Like I love the music and I love the costumes.
Anytime you have Space Hog kicking off, like,
so good. But like I just, like the stars did not align. Everything just felt like so uncomfortable for me. I just couldn't handle it.
I saw a friend post a thing on Facebook today that made me laugh, where he just said, I've got a big pitch meeting at Netflix. And he goes, here's my list of ideas. And it was like, coming of age story that takes place in 2000. Coming of age story that takes place in 2005. Coming of age story that takes place in 2010. Am I a critical success yet?
That's good. That's real good.
That's actually what I thought when I saw it. I was looking, I haven't watched any of it, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about, which is funny. I just look and I go, oh, we're doing this again?
It's just because we got the time warp now, and it happens a lot on the show, where we're like, that was just like 2 years ago. It was a decade.
Yeah,
like,
it was a very long time ago. But Wrong Turn 6 was only 4. We were talking about Wrong Turn 6 this week from 2014. Thanks again, Stephen, for joining us. We are always happy to have you on Horror Movie Night. We are just falling apart right now based on lack of sleep, lack of energy, and a whole lot more con ahead of us. So we will be back next week in our regularly Zen-castered route. But we will be back doing the same old for you guys. And hopefully you continue to enjoy it. Thanks for checking us out at hmnpodcast.com, which Steven built for us.
Yes,
I sure did.
And also, like, we need like a really high energy outro, like, thanks for listening.
Well, I'm trying to keep it chill since there's a noise ordinance after 10.
Well, now I'm the villain in this story.
Yeah, the EPA
Just trying to
guy.
do my job.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.